Hello, everyone. Or should I say aloha? This is OolongCrossi coming to you live from Hawaii. So welcome into the stream. It's great to have everybody. Hope you're doing well. Let me just put this little spreader knife down where it belongs. There we go. So we're all ready to have cheese a little bit later. So the weather's changed again. It's now, well, it's overcast today, but it's cool. But for the last week or so, it's been getting quite hot again and really feeling like spring. And I've noticed that in the tea world, it's all very, very focused on the new tea that's being picked, right now or in the next few weeks. And so all of the tea companies are kind of previewing what green teas will be coming, when you can expect them, when they're being picked. This is the time of year. I don't remember exactly when the, I think it's called the Qingming Festival is. It's a festival honoring the ancestors. And then there's a certain schedule of tea picking that goes either before or after that, which kind of determines how early spring it is. And so that's all sort of going on right now. I'm not a big green tea drinker, as you probably know if you've watched this broadcast before, but I do have, I have a particular tea that I want to try that was given to me by a friend years ago. And I know, although green tea doesn't usually keep that well, I think that this one might have, and if it doesn't, I have a backup plan, so no problem there. So that's what we'll be doing. I actually have a couple of teas. I've got 3. The main one is a Dragon Well tea, and if that hasn't kept well, I've got a what was this one called? I'm sorry, a Wentan Baozhong, which is technically an oolong, but it's as green as it possibly gets. It's basically a green tea, but it's from the oolong world. And then I've just got another oolong tea that I thought sounded good. And we'll probably just drink 2 of these today, because I've been kind of slowing it down a little bit. Although last week I did go nuts and have 4 different teas. So, you just never know what you're going to get, right? But this week I thought I would kind of slow it down and focus on a couple of teas. And I also have a couple of activities planned. Well, one of them's kind of a non-activity. It's just listening to Johnny Bailey's newest album called Jam Selection Volume 3. And so during that time, I won't be chatting. We'll just be listening to it and just chilling out. We've done that a couple times before with different soundtracks and with other albums by Johnny Bailey. So I thought I'd do that now. It's his latest one out, and his jam selections are always interesting. In fact, we're listening to one right now called Peaches. I forget if that was from Volume 1 or Volume 2. But he has said that Volume 3 will be the last one that he creates. He's running out of names for jam, which is kind of a fun idea. So let's start with our new thing, which is pulling a Woodland Warden's Oracle card for the entire stream. Aren't these gorgeous? So I just got these a few weeks ago, and I've just been pulling one random card and just kind of learning about it together, which means I haven't done my homework and studied this, but there's an amazing guidebook that comes with it that's got a picture of every card and, basic meanings. So I've just been drawing one card and then exploring the meanings and just having that be like, the theme or the spirit for the entire stream. So let me just go ahead and do that. I'm just shuffling a bit. These are right side up and upside down, and the meanings can be a little different. Last week we pulled the cat and lavender in reverse, which is upside down, and it had a different meaning. I set it right side up just for the stream so that it looked better, visually. But it was actually reversed. Okay, so I think that's about enough shuffling. I'll just cut and just turn over the top card, whatever it may be. That's what we'll have for today's stream, and it is reversed, the beaver and birch. Let me turn it over just so we can look at it. And I'll put the other cards away safely out of the splash zone in case any, because my whole table thing with Gong Fu Tea Brewing is that there can be splashing, there can be overflow. So here's our beautiful beaver and birch, and it's card number 30. As you can see at the top there, these cards are all numbered in just Roman numerals. And the basic meaning of this is home. But let's go ahead and look in our book and see what other insight we can get from that. So number 30. There's 52 of these cards. Here we are. We'll see if I can hold these both up. So we had it this way. The beaver works hard to build a lodge where it raises its young, using twigs, grasses, rocks, and mud. It constructs a safe environment for its family as well as a natural habitat for migrating birds. Now see, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Birch trees symbolize new beginnings, and they seldom grow alone. In medieval Europe, they were used as maypoles in pagan celebrations of midsummer. Because their wood was thought to protect the young and ward off evil spirits, it was often used to build cradles. This is all new information to me. That's awesome. And I grew up around birch trees on the East Coast of the United States, but I didn't know that about them. So if it was upright, it would basically imply here that now is a time to focus on nesting, homesteading, and settling down. Decorate and tend to your environment in a way that supports a feeling of home. But today we drew it reversed, which means you may be feeling reclusive, like a hermit in your cave. Consider planning a trip. Your spirit will benefit from a time of travel and self-discovery. And questions you can ask yourself if you draw this are, what do I appreciate about my home? And is my home a place or a feeling? Well, that's funny because we were just talking about taking a vacation yesterday and where we might be able to travel or want to travel. So I guess it's getting out of the home, right? So I'm going to put this off to the side. I guess I'll leave them upside down for today. Unless that just makes it too hard to see. I guess I'll turn them right side up. It looks interesting this way, like he's not a sloth, but monkey or something going down the tree. Okay, so there's our card for today. And so I also had in mind to do a little tea shopping online if we have time. I got a sale notice from an online tea company that I have never tried before, and I was real curious to check it out. They have a lot of teas that I think I would really be interested in, but never ordered before, and they're all 20% off. So maybe after listening to the album, we'll do that. Hey, what's going on? Oh, cereal. Oh, hello.
Oolong 5, let's brew. Oolong 5, let's brew. Oolong 5, let's brew.
Let's brew. It reads everything out. Let's brew indeed. Thank you, cereal. Oh, 17 months. I mean, have I even been streaming that long? That's amazing. Welcome in. Hi, how are you doing? And thank you for your support, of course. Gosh, I gotta make some more sub badges. I mean, I like the little guy one, but I never made another one after that. I'm so neglectful about some of those aspects of the stream. We just got back from getting dinner for Blueberry's birthday. What? Did I know? Did I forget? I mean, that's entirely possible. But anyway, happy birthday, Blueberry. And where did you guys go out to have dinner? We actually went out yesterday. I had an errand to the mall. I had to return something. And I took the mister along with me, and he hates going to the mall and, hanging around clothing stores and all of that stuff. And it's pretty crowded on Saturday. So I asked him if he wanted to eat at Olive Garden because we haven't been there for, I don't know. We were trying to figure out how long it had been, but since before we moved to Hawaii, so probably decades. And so we ate at the Olive Garden, which was loud but interesting. And we brought home some of their entrees to go. So I think we got some dinner for later too. But yeah, it was pretty, it was okay. It was pretty good. I don't know. It was nice to have the food. You guys went to a local Mexican food place. I might not have known. In any case, I hope it was super fun. And that you had, and that Blueberries had or having or whatever, a super happy birthday. Hooray. Mexican foods sounds better to me than what we had yesterday. It was okay. You know what's really funny is that the leftovers that I had today for lunch tasted better to me, warmed up. I had eggplant parmesan with gluten-free pasta, which is why I chose the place, because they can do that for you. Anyway, it tasted better today than yesterday. Go figure. She will be here in a bit. She needs to call her dad back. Oh, awesome. And I didn't have soup. We had salad, but I did look at the minestrone. I thought that sounded good. Anyway, welcome in. Welcome in. So we're going to do just a couple of teas today, but I have a couple of activities. I don't know if you got a chance to hear that. We're going to listen to one of Johnny Bailey's albums, his most recent, the Jam Selection Volume 3, and last volume in that trilogy. And we'll just listen to it all the way through, and I won't talk. It's like 45 minutes long. So we can do that after we get going with our tea. And, I've incorporated some of the songs into my playlist already, so you might hear them as we go along, but I haven't, focused on the album as a whole. And then also, if we feel like it, when we get done with that, and maybe on the, second tea go round, I've got a website I really want to look at. I got a sale code for Mountain Stream Teas, which is, I think they might be an American company, but they deal with Taiwanese tea, and it looks amazing. So I really wanted to check that out and try ordering from there. So yeah, and then we drew the beaver and birch for our oracle card for the day. And then I'll just do a quick snacks tour, and then we can get started with the first tea. So let's see, what do I have here? I have to kind of lean forward and grab it. So this is a quarter of a little loaf of bread. I went to the Japanese bakery again this week. I got a couple pastries from them last week, which was really too much for one stream, but I ate some for breakfast later. So this is a quarter of a loaf of their, they call it cranberry fromage. Fancy. I think it's a cranberry cream cheese loaf. And, I'm such a bargain hunter. I bought it because it's day old, so it was 20% off because it's pretty expensive usually. And it's 4 times as much as, the loaf is like, this is a quarter of it. So you're able to just sort of pull it apart. And I haven't had that before, so I'm looking forward to trying it. This is a pastry called, I believe it's pronounced Koin Aman. And I've never had it before. It was all the rage a few years ago. I remember people, doing like online reviews of the best Queen Amman in town and stuff like that. And I have no idea if this is it, but I've never even had it. It looks like it's going to get sticky here, but basically it's, I think it's like a roll of puff pastry. Just rolled up. They must slice it. And then it's got sugar on top like you would. Have you ever had a pastry called palmier, which is like puff pastry? It's more flat, but it's kind of a like a pretzel shape or a heart shape. It's flatter than this, and then it's glazed with sugar like this. So this really reminds me of that, and I love palmiers so much. So yeah, I'll put the spelling of this in the chat. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it right. Like I said, it was all the rage 3 to 5 years ago. Several years ago. I want to say 5 years ago. Let's see. Coin. Mon. I think that's how it's pronounced. It's French or something. I might be missing some letters in there, but that's the basic idea. So those are both from the Brewing Japanese Bakery in our local shopping center. I only have one snack from Costco this week, because that's all I really have. Oh, well, the crackers count too, so I guess 2. This is peanut brittle, and it's only going to be crunchy for a little while. I've noticed that I have to keep in the refrigerator here for it to actually be brittle. Otherwise, it becomes like peanut chews. But I'm a sucker for peanut brittle. If you all know me, you know I don't eat that much candy. But I do like peanut brittle. The more peanuts and the less sugar, the less brittle, the better. This one's a little light on the peanuts, but it is quite tasty. And like I said, it's crunchy as long as it's cold. But then if the warmth and humidity gets to it here, it's going to be like peanut chews. This is some local fresh pineapple that I just got today at the farmer's market. So yay, delicious. Peanut brittle tastes like Christmas to you, huh? Oh, that's interesting. Are you, like, associate it with Christmas? And then this was just like a weird whimsical purchase from my local grocery store. I went in looking for like a fancy cheese because I'm pretty much out of, all the like interesting cheeses that I've had on stream for a while. And this is just literally one of those cheddar cheese balls with the almonds on it. I kind of grew up with my mom eating this stuff, and also, Christmas and everything. You would remember like the gift boxes you could get that would have like the cheese ball and the sausage and whatnot. Anyway, this one looks pretty uncomplicated in terms of it's mostly cheddar cheese, and then I don't know, it's still mixed to a spreadable consistency somehow, and then the almonds are on the outside. I did not get the port wine one. I've never been a huge fan of that one. My mom used to eat it though. So that's just a sharp cheddar cheese spread thing. I didn't get the double sharp one. I just wanted to try like the regular one. That is also very much a holiday food for me. Yeah, always a fun food to have. I haven't had this for decades either. And I just saw it, and it was the most affordable, like, fancy cheese in the case. So I just grabbed one. And then this is from Costco. These are the Crunchmaster crackers. So I'll have those with the cheese or just, whenever. So that is true. I have two Costco snacks. I bought a large quantity of these crackers. They're gluten-free, and they're great, and they go with everything. And yes, they're super crunchy. Okay, so I will now take a sip of water, and then we'll talk about our first tea that I have planned. Oh, so this, I think, oh no, this is a tea, Guarana. I was like, is this off of the new album? This is the previous new album. Okay, hydrate. Oh, there we go. So I hope everything's going well. My work has settled down quite a bit from what it was a week ago. Thank goodness. I mean, it's still busy, but it's just kind of normal busy. It's not like we have an event this week kind of busy. And I am taking tomorrow off for car repairs. So that was another sort of added stress during my super busy week, is that my car suddenly started having problems that it hadn't had for like a year and a quarter, that I'd had repaired before. It's probably something very simple. It's like one of the ignition cylinders is not firing, so the car has no power. I can only drive it maybe 40 miles an hour at the max, and it's just, really struggles to go uphill or anything like that. but it doesn't stall. So, I'm getting back and forth. I'm just limping around really slowly. So I have an appointment tomorrow, taking the day off from work, and we'll go in the morning and just see how long it takes. I just asked for, one of my floating holiday vacation day things. Yeah, things are going well. I finally finished a book I have been working on reading ever since November, so I am feeling accomplished. Oh, good job. Good for you. I'm not doing well at reading things that I want to read. I think, maybe I can do some of that tomorrow if I have to sit around. I hope it can be fixed easily. I hope so too. I'm trying to remember the last time I opted not to get, because my car has 4 cylinders and I think they fixed one of them and I opted not to get the other 3 fixed. And, now I'm kind of like, maybe I should have. But one was like $500. So I'm hoping that I just go in, just get another one fixed, or maybe the remaining 3. We'll see how much they estimate it to be and how long it would take. But yeah, I've budgeted one day to sit around waiting for the car to get fixed. I'm not sure if that's on base or not, if we're going to be looking at more time. I'm really fingers crossed, that it really can just be done in one day. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Let me talk about the first tea scheduled for today. So as I was mentioning earlier, it's really the time of year when everyone's talking about their new green tea that's going to be picked, that got picked last week or is going to be picked next week, and when can they ship it to you and how fantastically fresh it is and all of that. This is kind of the time of year when the tea world kind of goes crazy over, green tea and fresh green tea. And I have some not fresh green tea, but I just want to revisit and see how it is. This was given to me. Let's see. Yes, it has been hard to kind of bounce back ever since I graduated. Oh yeah, you mean with reading? Getting a writing literature degree takes so much reading, so I kind of got burnt out during my last semester. I've just been trying to read for fun and see if I can get back into it that way. So far, so good. Oh, good luck. Yeah, I know. I used to be just a mad reader when I was younger, and now I'm just like reading news articles or things that don't take too long. I think it's part of our culture now that we just don't, a lot of us don't devote that much time. So you can see that I've used some of this, probably most of it. This was given to me by a friend. Right on the tin, it says that it's Chinese tea refined gift. So it's good. In the Chinese culture, a gift of certain high-end teas is considered to be really prestigious. And my friend, who used to come to my tea gatherings all the time, and also who's joined us on stream at least a few times, used to come, like pretty much every single time I had tea at my house, he would be there. And he gave me this, and he said that his father, I think he said, was given it by a Chinese official when he was doing some work with them. I don't remember if he said in China or not. And this is some, to hear tell, some pretty high-end Dragonwell tea. It is no longer green. Looking at it, it's kind of brown. But the thing I've noticed with Dragonwell is that it keeps okay. I mean, it doesn't have a real, how can I say this? A real green, vegetable-y, flavor to it. It's more of like a light chestnut flavor. It already has kind of a light chestnut flavor to it, so I'm wondering if it'll be any good. And if not, I have something newer. I have had this for 3 or 4 years, which is probably a total no-no, but I thought I would give it a try. And then if it's terrible, then I'll know I need to get rid of it. And if it's good, then I'll try to drink it up. It's kind of embarrassing that I still have it, but I have a lot of tea. Things get pushed to the back of the cabinet, they get lost. The best I have gotten was to revisit the genre of books that you remember genuinely enjoying, even if it is junior high level reading, because then it can really help bring you back to that feeling of enjoyment before it kind of started feeling like a chore. Yeah, just because sometimes it's easy to read things because we feel like we need to, even outside of school or work. It's true. Yeah, so I've been buying books and then not reading them, but they are mostly either political books or books about Russia or stuff like that. So maybe not, the most fun. So look how brown this is. This used to be green. So we'll see. So the interesting thing about Dragonwell, though, gosh, this is really inspiring me to maybe buy some fresh Dragonwell because this is not the color it's supposed to be at all. But the thing about it that's really interesting is that it's pressed totally flat during processing. So even though this isn't green, I hope you can see that. Whoops. The leaves are pressed flat. That's the style of the processing. And very often this is done by hand. And I mean hands, by the actual hands, in a wok. So they're kind of like, sometimes I've seen people wearing special like heat-proof gloves, sometimes not. Maybe their hands are just very calloused. But anyway, often this is just literally pressed by hands into a wok, kind of pushed around, like this. Or maybe like scrubbed around like this to flatten it. You can see a little bit of green. Yeah, well, let's give it a try. The thing about green tea like this is it's not going to spoil as in be, it's not moldy. That's really the only way your tea can spoil. And when I smell it, it still smells like not what it used to be, for sure. But it still smells like tea. It smells a little bit more mellow. But it doesn't smell, moldy or anything like that. So yeah, we're just going to be brave and try it. It's probably not good. And then I'll just probably switch to the next tea. I had not opened it before stream, so this was a surprise for me too, how brown it is. But it did used to be green. Even though it kind of a muted green. But the flatness is really the distinctive, look of it. And you're not supposed to cover this when you steep it. My water is just in the 190 degree range. I think it's 195. It's not supposed to be any really hotter than that. And then you just leave it for a little while. People who actually grow the Dragonwell, they'll often just drink it out of a glass, like a tempered water glass or a mug or something, and they just put the water in, and then just let it, sit for a while, and then just start drinking it. And basically you strain the leaves out with your teeth. It would also be really great to drink out of a gaiwan like this, which was originally the purpose of gaiwans, was, this is a perfect example of how you might brew something like this. In a tea house, you would have your gaiwan that you're, served, and then the dry tea is inside, and then you've got the servers come around and pour the water in, and then, after you think it's ready, you put the lid on, and then this is why gaiwans were invented, not as a teapot as much as a drinking vessel, and then you just drink it out of there. That little gap keeps most of the leaves inside, and then when you're done, you just open it up again, and then they come pour more water. And that's a sort of typical way that green tea is drunk in China, is just sort of refilled and refilled. But the water is not as hot. So I'm just leaving it to sit here. We are getting like a light brown liquid out of it. I really do feel like this is probably not going to taste as good as there's no way it's going to taste as good as it did when it was fresh. But I'm also thinking that it's probably not going to be that great. And I'll probably switch to the other truly fresh tea that I got. Well, even it's probably a year old, but still, it's better. Can you tell I was a little bit at a loss for what teas to use today, because I just don't have a lot of green teas. And I had, a whole bunch of brand new teas yesterday, last Sunday. So let's give this a try. It's probably been long enough. Okay, so before we get to the liquid itself, let me take the list off here. Oh, Juniper is watching you pour the tea. Do you have me on the television? I'm going to go ahead and give this a smell. It does smell a little bit like old green tea, I'll be honest. This is really making me feel like I need to buy some fresh Dragon Well so I can show you guys what it's like. Because all we really have there is the form and the shape. But basically, it's fairly tender buds. This is like some kind of a weird experiment. It's a very pretty color. That is not the color it's supposed to be, but I'm actually really enjoying the color. It has a little bit of pink in it. She's just on the computer screen, but she's loafed and on my lap. Oh, hi, Juniper. Hi, kitty. So this actually, in its fresh form, it's like, the way I remember it is that it's green, but it has a little bit of a brownish gray cast to the liquid. So it's kind of interesting to see that it's now kind of a brown with a pink gray cast. Okay, it's still pretty nice. It's too strong. That was what I meant to say at first. What I started to say was, it's too strong. It's stronger than you would normally brew it, I think. But it's actually not bad. I'm just letting the aftertaste come through. The initial flavor was, it is that sort of chestnutty and also a little bit green flavor, but it's a bit bitter and astringent. So it's a little strong. It's a little like I overbrewed it. I left it sit a little too long. But then the aftertaste is still sort of a sweet chestnutty flavor. Interesting. I'm going to have to eat some food with it, but check it out. I'm just loving, I just don't think it's coming through on the camera as much as to the eye. It's quite pink color. You can kind of see it when around the edge. Interesting. I will go ahead and look up on the computer, on the web, like what real Dragon Well is supposed to look like. Because I actually did look up the right temperature water, because it's been so long since I brewed something like this. And before I eat my goodies here, I'm going to go ahead and take a gluten supplement, because I do have two kinds of pastries here. But yeah, I'll go ahead and eat some food with this. Okay, so let me quickly go to, I think Verdant Tea is they have a lot of Dragon Well, or Longjing, it's called, which means Dragon Well. Here we go. They have a particular family that actually specializes. That's not the one. I chose the wrong one. Here it is. Who actually lives in Longjing Village. That's the one. So I'll go ahead and share my screen with you. Oh, what a great time for that to happen. Hey, Blueberry, welcome in. Thank you so much for the subscription. Hello. Have some cake. Hi.
Fall winning, fall winning, fall winning.
It says the name, it reads out the name of the emotes. Welcome in, Blueberry. Happy birthday. Was it today? I know, don't you love that? I've when someone else it's Yo Erica, when she has when you that same message basically with the subscription, if you put like, you know, the heart, it says less than 3, less than 3, less than 3. So the last time I did that, I just went ahead and typed in less than 3, and because she always comments on it. She's like, what does that mean? Less than 3? Why would it say that? It's a heart. So she doesn't really get that it's you know, the less and the, you know, the less than and the 3 symbol. She's every time she's like, why does it say less than 3? Anyway, yeah, your birthday is today. Well, happy birthday to you. Yay. What can I do for you? I mean, I don't have anything to offer right now except applause. Can do that. At least I tried to. I don't know if it's coming through, and we're kind of on the wrong stream for this. And then I also have this. Oh, that came through. Oh, you can see everything, right? You can. It's like Inception screen. Sorry about that. Anyway, well, happy birthday. I don't have a happy birthday song queued up. That's what the Matrix looks like. Yeah, I forgot that we were sharing my screen. You ever do that when you're in a meeting or something? So this is what Dragonwell tea is supposed to look like. So if you're wondering why I kept saying like it's definitely doesn't look right, that's because it's supposed to look, it's still got a little brown in it, you know, but it's supposed to look green. And this is what the, you know, the tea liquid is supposed to look like. So you can see how green it is when it's properly fresh. There we go. And then that's a good view of how flat the leaves are. So that's what this started out like. I popped into the other room and I really heard Dragon Ball Z. Dragonwell tea. Yeah. And this is what the fresh leaves look like, or even after they're, you know, steeped in kind of and you can see them drinking it out of a glass, like I was just talking about. So these are the actual farmers, not of the tea that I have, but of the Dragonwell tea that Verdant Tea sells. And there you can see her again, just drinking it out of a glass. And this is the guy hand pressing it into the hot wok to make it flat. There you see it. So that's what that looks like. And this is where, so they live in the actual birthplace of Dragonwell tea, Longjing Village, like where it comes from. So that's why, you know, it's such a insult that I have the brown old one that's several years old. But you know what? I didn't feel like wasting it. That being said, I let it get cold, so I'm going to dump out what I've got, give it to the tea pets, and then we'll steep it again, and I will try not to overbrew this time. There we go. So I'm going to give them a whole bunch. Besides, it was probably dusty, right? So that was just the rinse. That's so neat. Yeah, Dragonwell tea is pretty neat. I remember one time when I had folks over, and it was I had gotten 3 different Dragon Well teas from Verdant Tea, and they were all different pickings, but they were from that same family. So they were like, super early pick, high grade, medium pick, late pick, or something like that. And we just tasted all 3 of them. That was kind of what our activity was. And decided which one we all thought tasted the best, or what was the difference between them. See, when you put the water in, the leaves sort of swirl around like that. That's considered to be the proper way to pour your water. And then you don't cover the more delicate green teas like this, you don't cover them. Because that's over steeping. That being said, I did leave it in there too long anyway. You haven't heard of Dragon Well tea? So it's actually, so Dragon Well, or sometimes it's 2 words, Dragon Well. And then in Chinese, that's Long Jing. It's one of the most famous green tea types in China. It's considered to be, super high class. What they commonly call like a tribute tea, which means that it was the sort of thing you would give to the emperor or pay your taxes with, kind of thing. So this was a tea gift that my friend's dad got from someone in China. And then he's like, I got, 6 or 10 tins of this. There's no way I can drink it all, even though he's like a more prolific tea drinker than I am. So he gave me one, and we used part of it at tea session at my house, and then I kept the rest, and then obviously let it store too long. I hope he's not watching today. This has really gone gray. At least it's less brown now. It's more of a gray color. So I think, any green tea connoisseur would be horrified by this, but I thought it tasted, and I guess maybe that's a sign of a good tea, of a high quality tea, that even when it's like super, super stale, it's still pretty good. Okay, now we have, I would say this is maybe the color I was kind of more expecting. It's a little lighter and more clear. Definitely pinkish to the eye. I don't know if you can see it. On the camera, it does look more gold for sure, yeah. In person, it's like a peach color. So I guess my camera color isn't quite accurate. That happens because of the light that I have and my ring light and everything. It's more of a peach color in person. That's really not bad. Now that's delightful. So I just lightly steeped it. And that is probably the mark of a quality tea, is that it's, it's easygoing. It's, even if you let it get stale. This is basically how I remember Dragon Well tasting, only, picture it being like a very light green color because it's fresh. Okay. Wow, that's actually good. It's making my mouth water a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and try something, trying to decide what would go well with this. I'll go ahead and have a piece of peanut brittle while it might still be crunchy, possibly. Yeah, that's actually delicious now. That tea. We have success. Okay, this is already getting all sticky. It's not going to be crunchy anymore, but it will be yummy. Let me separate it out with a fork. A baby fork, of course. I'm just doing this so that my own fingers don't get so incredibly sticky from the candy. Mm-hmm. Still crunchy. Now it's chewy. So there's a little crunch and still chewy. I don't usually eat the whole piece, but it was so sticky I didn't want to hold it and bite half of it and then be sitting there holding it, having it sort of melt in my hand. Let's send some tea after it. Yeah, there's only a few kinds of candy I really enjoy. And peanut brittle's really one of them. And you can tell it's made with roasted peanuts, so there's just a lot of peanut flavor. Right out of the bag, it's very crunchy. You guys know what peanut brittle's like. So this was something from Costco. I've been eyeing it for quite a while. It's called Peanut Brittle Bites. So it's just all in these squares. Like this. So it was just like a whole bag of these squares. I don't know how they managed to cut it into such regular shapes. Because, you know, normally peanut brittle is just like you shatter it into all whatever shape pieces that it is. And this tea is actually a really good accompaniment for it. And you can see how this is actually showing more of the character of the Dragon Well tea and how clear this is. I mean, look how clear and clean that is. So before we start listening to jam selection, also, I don't know, this is just a weird piece of news. Nothing, it's not important, but I started playing Figment 2 last night. It's finally out for the Switch. It's on sale, or it was when I bought it. I think it still is. It was like $16.49 or something. So I was planning to pay more. So I went ahead and got it, but I didn't play it during the week. And then last night, after we did all our shopping and, you know, came back from the Olive Garden and whatever, we were just wiped out. And I ended up playing it for a few hours. It's great. I'm really loving it. It does build off the first game. Like, it literally starts you where the last game left off. So, and it doesn't have a whole lot of explanation of like how you got there or what you're, you know, it's just like, okay, on to the next adventure. Like, you literally just standing where you ended up the last game. But I think anybody could pick it up without having to know that story. Anyway, played it for several hours. There's so many really cool puzzles. And I was in the middle of solving this whole maze and stuff like that. And then it suddenly quit on me and I lost a whole bunch of progress, like at least an hour's worth of progress, which was a shock. The first game had never been like that. And you know what? That's okay though. I was actually looking for a reason to go to bed. and there's no like, I guess I could have just left the game and it would have just stayed where you were. I guess that's what you do. But nowadays, a lot of the games don't seem to have like a button to just go, okay, save now, you know, save this spot. So it's a little more glitchier. I noticed while I was playing, the loading screens are amazingly long. It's just a black screen, so you're not even sure that you're still playing. Like, you know, the first time I saw it, I thought the game closed. It must be saving during that time. So I feel like maybe, I don't know. I'm glad I got a discount. I'm hoping they do some updates to it. The game number 1 wasn't like that. But, you know, I don't care. It's really great. I enjoy it. Let me have a quick piece of pineapple before we go on. So I got this from the farmer's market. It was pre-cut, which, it's more expensive that way, but saves a lot of... Oh, it looks like I got a hair too. Nice. Let me just get that off screen. Thanks, lady who cut this fruit, for the bonus. Okay, anyway, so you don't have the waste, though, when you buy a whole pineapple. And then you have to peel it and core it and everything. Although this does have the core. They didn't remove the core. Yeah, honestly, that can happen when games first come out, just because there are often bugs that need to be worked out. I'm sure they will notice and will release a patch that will fix it. Yeah, probably. In the meantime, I thought I'm actually not going to mind playing that part over again, because it was really fun and I was starting to get tired and just start going, I got to get to bed pretty soon so that I can get up and not, get up too late tomorrow and get ready for stream and stuff. So I was kind of looking for an excuse to put it down. That's the core I'm crunching on. For any of you who've only eaten canned pineapple before, first of all, I'm sorry about that. The fresh is much better. But the canned, they take the core out. The core has pretty good pineapple flavor. It's super juicy. I think it goes well with this tea, but it's fine. Even if I don't know what would make it not go with the tea, I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah. So if you want, just for anyone who's watching, if you want a deal on Figment 2, get it now. But you'll probably have to put up with those weird, couple of weird glitchies here and there. That was so juicy. Okay, so what I'd like to do, if you guys have anything you want to say, get it out now. No, that's not true. Because you can still chat. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and put Johnny Bailey's Jam Selection Volume 3 album on. Let's see, let me unscramble it so that it's all going from in order. There's 20 tracks, but they're short. And it'll be done in about 44 minutes. And if you guys want to continue chatting, feel free. I'll be here. I'll be, probably coming up with random ideas as I go along. I'll continue to drink this tea, since it is more delicious than I thought it would be. I'll just go forward with it. And I'll have some of the snacks and, whatever else comes up. Exactly. A jam session. Good idea. Yeah, cat jam. Did it work? Did my thing work? It worked for you. Oh, I bet it has a cooldown. Anyway, yeah, just have fun with it. Continue to chat. And let me go ahead and pause the song and start the new one. And we'll talk to you guys in 44 minutes. I hope you are having dinner or whatever it is in your time zone, or relaxing with some tea or whatever you like to drink, and just chill out. Some of these songs, I haven't put all of these songs on my playlist because some of them are a little bit more brighter or upbeat. And so, you'll hear that. So if there's some you may never have heard before, because I didn't incorporate all of them into the stream playlist. I just made us some very lightly steeped black tea. Yeah, for nighttime, right? Oh, and then also the daylight savings time happened, so it's even later for you, right? Black tea with milk and sugar. That sounds perfect. Okay, enjoy. Here we go.